The people of Aso say they suspect some cattle rearers who settle with them in seasons when they can feed their cattle in the area. Channels Television made attempts to reach the alleged Fulani settlers but was unsuccessful. Instead, the crew traveled to Karya community, neighbors with Aso, occupied by some Fulanis.
That issue started from Aso, moved to Tanda, Karya, past Delle. So we are not actually what happened between that Fulani with Aso community.
Members of Karya say they have continuous meetings with their youth to discuss likely issues of conflict and advise them to live in peace with neighboring communities. A few kilometers away, Delle community with 8 villages has not recorded any conflict, although it is a frequent host of cattle rearers. They say because of the conflict in the region, they have set some measures to monitor influx into their community.
And there is no any problem. When they came, we used to ask them to write undertaking that any bad thing happen, we know he that write his undertaking, he will be held responsible on that thing. That is the way we used to deal with them, and we finish peacefully, no anything happen. When they came, we used to gather their information right from their names, where they came from, their other relations. Because if something happen, we know where to go and look of him. We used to register them like strangers, and we that are living in the community, we know ourselves, we know each other, right from the parent and grandparent. So we know the habits and characters of each other. So when strangers came, we register them, we keep their record for something bad if happen.
While these conflicts, fear and sentiment are on the mind of many in this vicinity, some Nigerians have linked the crisis to insufficient economic resources.
And, from our reading, it's essentially a problem that has to do with land, mineral resources, and of course the quest for development in those areas, which over the last few years has not been as much as one would wish for. Question of control. It's simply a question of control. Who controls what? Who controls what? But then some say it's a religious issue. As far as I know, and from my reading, I do not see it as a religious issue. But somehow, because the herdsmen are predominantly Muslims and the farmers are predominantly Christian, somehow it's easier to define it along religious lines.
In Dangoma village, they agree that resources has a place in the conflict.
Some of our people are saying that just because of this discovering of this nickel is a reason why Kanunkom people say why we didn't say it is from their own land. We claim that the nickel is from our Dangoma. And it is true, this nickel, it is from Dangoma land. We are not strangers or Fulani that are moving up, and we are the settlers Fulani. We have our grandfathers tell us they settled here since 1580 something. We spend more than 500 years here.
And this is where the federal government has announced that there has been a large quantity of nickel, even though exploration hasn't started. And the federal government has said it has some findings to do, but it's been confirmed that nickel is here in high quality. And we know that nickel is one of, the well sought for commodities in the world. Well, right here, we're told that it's in the muddy part of the water, but this is an indication that there's nickel here. It's the shiny part of the stone that scientists used to tell that there is nickel in this area and in large quantity. And even other discoveries have shown that it is in world-class quality. That means it will require very little refining before it can be used. Ibrahim Salisu, an indigene of Dangoma, is a ginger farmer. Fortunately for him, his farm is part of the area where nickel has been discovered.
The time that we just get it, you see I'm plenty. I think you get me. Huh? We continue to dig in. You come get them plenty until you go down before.
The result of this sustained conflicts, uncertainty and insufficient dialogue is high level of mistrust and more work for security agents.
Just as the farmers were complaining that they couldn't go to the farm or they can't go to the farm to either to plant or to harvest their crops, so also the Fulanis complained that each time they have to go and graze their cattle, you know, the in quotes, locals, you know, kill their cattle. And once they kill their cattle, everybody expects that there's going to be a reprisal attack. You see, it's an unending circle. Attack, counter-attack, attack, reprisal attack. So there must be a way that you have to cut off that, you know, block this, you know, unending circle of violence, which is what we are doing. But what we did was to have a meeting with them severally. Myself, I've had meetings with them, like I said earlier. My subordinate commanders, I ordered them to have those engagements. And we told them, look, if you need to go to the farm, you're going to do it as a group. Not necessarily because, you know, something's going to happen to them, but just to further give them the confidence that you can go about your, you know, your business. And we'll attach some soldiers to them, you know, to go with them to the farms. They finish their farms, to escort them back. We also told the Fulanis the same thing. Look, if you have to graze your cattle and you're afraid that the farmers or anybody may want to kill you or kill your cattle, you know, you let us know. We'll designate an area, or you tell us where you want to go and graze your cattle, and if it's not in a farming area, we'll provide the necessary security. But of course, in spite of all that, you still have instances where some farmers will go on their own, the farmers, the herdsmen go on their own, and sometimes, you know, they have these isolated, you know, killings. One of these we have also told the herdsmen is not to allow their young ones to herd cattle.
And irrespective of how many forces are placed on ground, everyone agrees that sustainable peace can only be achieved through dialogue.
Because a Fulani man living here with the people, I used to call them, call their attention. Not only Fulani that are living here, around the area, even in the Fulani that are living in the Godogodo Chiefdom, I used to call them and beg them, please, to stop it like that. It's okay.
We are dialoguing with the community leaders, religious leaders, the youths, even student organizations. We're meeting with them, we're making them to see the need for peace, and we've been able to bring together the different groups involved in this crisis, and they've met and they've shown their willingness to live together, and I think we are progressing.
A lot of strategies being employed to bring peace to southern Kaduna. The army is involved, the police is involved, the NGOs, international communities. But at the end of the day, everyone agrees that the way forward, the way to bring a lasting peace in this region in southern Kaduna is dialogue between both parties, that is the indigenes and the settlers, and the removal of sentiments, religious, ethnic, and all of that. And we hope that this is what will happen in a very short time. Well, that's it on this episode of Big Story. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Amy Thompson.